The single dad's hands trembled as he pressed them against his daughter's ears, drowning out the screams. 2 bullets had already torn through his body, but he wouldn't let go. Not until she was safe. Not until the engineer's daughter was safe too. Before you watch full story, comment below from which country are you watching. Don't forget to subscribe for more amazing stories. Daniel Carter never thought his Tuesday evening would end with blood on his hands and sirens wailing in the distance. He was just a simple construction worker, a widower trying his best to raise his 8-year-old daughter Emma alone after losing his wife Sarah to cancer 3 years ago. That evening started like any other. Daniel picked up Emma from school, her pink backpack bouncing as she ran toward him with a drawing she had made in art class. "Look, Papa. I drew us." Emma beamed, her missing front tooth making her smile even more precious. Daniel knelt down and hugged her tight. "It's beautiful, Princess. We'll put it on the fridge when we get home." They stopped at the grocery store on Maple Street. Daniel needed ingredients for Emma's favorite meal, spaghetti with meatballs. As they walked through the parking lot, Daniel noticed a black sedan parked near the entrance. 3 men sat inside, their faces hidden behind dark sunglasses even though the sun was setting. Something felt wrong, but Daniel pushed the feeling aside. Emma needed a father who could smile, not one who jumped at shadows. Inside the store, they gathered their items. Emma insisted on picking out the pasta herself, carefully selecting the box with the butterfly shapes. They were in the checkout line when Daniel heard raised voices near the entrance. A woman in a navy blue suit was arguing with 2 men. She had dark hair pulled back in a tight bun and carried a leather briefcase. Behind her stood a girl about Emma's age, with the same dark hair and frightened eyes. "I told you, I don't have them anymore," the woman shouted. "I gave everything to the police." One of the men grabbed her arm roughly. "That was a mistake, Ms. Rivera. Mr. Castellano doesn't appreciate people who betray him." Daniel's protective instincts kicked in immediately. He told Emma to stay by the cart and walked toward the commotion. "Hey, leave her alone," Daniel said firmly. The man turned to Daniel with cold eyes. "This doesn't concern you. Walk away." But Daniel saw the terror in the young girl's face, saw how she clutched her mother's hand just like Emma held his. He couldn't walk away. "I said, leave her alone." Daniel stepped between the woman and the men. Everything happened so fast. The second man pulled out a gun. Screams erupted throughout the store. Daniel heard Emma crying out for him, but his focus was on the weapon now pointed at the woman and her daughter. The woman pushed her daughter behind her. "Please, not in front of my daughter." Daniel made a split-second decision. He lunged forward, shoving the woman and her daughter to the side just as the first shot rang out. The bullet meant for the woman struck Daniel in the shoulder instead. Pain exploded through his body, but adrenaline kept him moving. The second shot came immediately after, hitting him in the side. Daniel fell to his knees, but he had accomplished what he intended. The woman and her daughter were behind a display shelf, temporarily shielded. "Run!" Daniel shouted through gritted teeth. "Get your daughter and run." The woman hesitated only a second, then grabbed her daughter and bolted toward the emergency exit. The men cursed and ran after them, but chaos in the store slowed them down. Daniel tried to stand, tried to go to Emma, but his body wouldn't respond. Blood pooled beneath him on the white tile floor. The last thing Daniel saw before everything went black was Emma's face, tears streaming down her cheeks as she screamed for her papa. Daniel woke up 3 days later in a hospital bed, tubes and wires connecting him to various machines. His brother James sat beside the bed, head in his hands. "Thank God," James whispered when Daniel stirred. "Danny, you stupid, brave idiot." Daniel's throat was dry. "Emma," he croaked. "Where's Emma?" "She's safe. With Mom and Dad. She's been so worried about you." The memories flooded back. The store. The gunshots. The woman and her daughter. The woman, Daniel said urgently. Is she okay? James nodded. They're safe. Her name is Dr. Sofia Rivera. She's a civil engineer who discovered her boss was using substandard materials in buildings. When she reported it, he sent men after her. The police arrested everyone involved. Daniel closed his eyes, processing this. He had taken 2 bullets for a stranger. The doctors said you're lucky to be alive, James continued. The bullets missed vital organs by inches. You'll need months of physical therapy. Over the next week, Daniel learned the full story. Sofia's evidence had brought down a major construction fraud operation. Buildings were being inspected, contracts reviewed. She had become a hero in the engineering community. But Daniel's medical bills were staggering. $73,000. He had maybe $8,000 in savings, money meant for Emma's future. His construction job provided disability pay, but it wouldn't be enough. The house he and Sarah had bought together suddenly felt at risk. For the first time since Sarah died, Daniel felt truly helpless. On his 10th day in the hospital, Sofia Rivera walked into his room carrying flowers and holding her daughter's hand. Sofia's eyes were red-rimmed, her face drawn with worry and gratitude. "Mr. Carter," she said softly. "I hope it's okay that we came." Daniel tried to sit up straighter. "Please, call me Daniel. I'm glad you're both safe." Sofia's daughter stepped forward and handed Daniel a card. "Thank you for saving my mama," she whispered. Daniel opened the card. Inside was a crayon drawing of a man with a cape, standing in front of a woman and child. The words, "My hero," were written across the top. "What's your name?" Daniel asked gently. "Isabella. But everyone calls me Bella." "That's a beautiful name, Bella. Thank you for this card." Sofia pulled a chair close. "Mr. Carter. Daniel. I don't have words for what you did. You saved our lives without hesitation. You didn't know us, didn't owe us anything." Daniel shook his head. "I just did what anyone would do." "No," Sofia said firmly. "Most people walked away. But you didn't. I've spoken to your brother about your situation, about your medical bills. Please, let me help you." Daniel's pride flared. "I can't accept that. I owe you everything." Sofia's voice cracked. "You gave me my life back. You gave Bella her mother." They argued, Daniel insisting he would find a way, Sofia refusing to accept no. Finally, Bella tugged on her mother's sleeve. "Mama, what if Mr. Daniel's little girl was there too? Does she still have a papa?" The simple question cut through everything. Daniel thought of Emma, of how terrified she must have been. "Yes," he said quietly. "My daughter Emma was there. She's 8, just like you." "Maybe Emma and I could be friends," Bella said. "Friends help each other, right?" Sofia and Daniel looked at each other, and something shifted. This wasn't about debt anymore. "Okay," Daniel finally agreed. "But once I'm back on my feet, I pay you back. Every cent." Sofia smiled through her tears. "Deal. But you let me help you recover properly. Emma needs her father healthy." They shook hands, sealing an agreement that would become something far more profound. Recovery was brutal. Daniel spent 2 more weeks in the hospital before being discharged. The bullet wounds were healing, but months of physical therapy lay ahead. Simple tasks like buttoning a shirt became painful challenges. Emma visited every day, bringing drawings and stories. She tried to be brave, but Daniel saw the fear in her eyes. She had nightmares about the shooting, waking up crying for her papa. Sofia kept her promise. She paid every medical bill without hesitation. But more than that, she became a constant presence. She and Bella visited regularly, bringing meals and helping with Emma's homework when Daniel was too exhausted. The girls became inseparable. They discovered they went to schools only blocks apart. They both loved drawing, both had lost parents, and both had experienced trauma that bonded them. Sophia had lost her job after blowing the whistle. Despite being vindicated, she had been blacklisted by firms who saw her as a troublemaker. She was living on savings while searching for work that wouldn't compromise her integrity. One evening, about 4 months after the shooting, Sophia and Daniel sat on his front porch while the girls played in the yard. "Can I tell you something?" Sophia asked quietly. Daniel nodded. "After Bella's father left, I threw myself into work. I told myself I was building a career to provide for her. But the truth is, I was hiding. Work was easier than dealing with the pain." She paused, watching Bella. "When those men came after me, when I thought those were my last moments, all I could think about was Bella growing up without a mother. All those hours at the office, all those weekends I'd missed. I would have traded it all for one more day with my daughter." Daniel understood perfectly. "After Sarah died, I tried to be both parents. But you can't be two people. You can only be yourself, doing your best." "You're doing more than your best," Sophia said. "You took bullets for strangers. That's not just being a good father. That's being a good human being." Her eyes held his for a long moment, and Daniel felt something shift in his chest. It wasn't just gratitude anymore. It was something warmer, something that scared and excited him. He hadn't looked at a woman this way since Sarah. But Sophia understood loss. She understood single parenthood. She had seen him at his most vulnerable and hadn't looked away. "Sophia," he started. But Bella came running up, breathless. "Mama. Emma and I caught 3 fireflies." Sophia laughed and explained why they needed to let them go. Emma climbed into Daniel's lap carefully. The moment between adults passed, but something had been acknowledged. Something was growing between them. By month 6, Daniel was back at work part-time. His shoulder ached by midday, and he couldn't lift heavy materials like before. But he was working, providing for Emma. Sophia found a position with a smaller engineering firm that valued ethics. The pay wasn't as good, but she felt clean again. Their families had merged naturally. Friday nights became pizza and movie night. Sundays, they went to the park together. Emma and Bella were like sisters, finishing each other's sentences. But Daniel was still paying Sophia back monthly, and this caused tension. "You're struggling," Sophia argued one evening. "Keep your money for Emma." "I won't be a charity case," Daniel insisted stubbornly. "This isn't about charity. It's about caring for someone." They stood in Sophia's kitchen, voices raised, while the girls watched nervously. "Why is this so important to you?" Sophia demanded. Daniel's jaw clenched. "Because I'm a father. I need to know I can provide without depending on someone else. Sarah made me promise I'd take care of Emma myself. Sarah's gone, Daniel." The words came out harsher than Sophia intended. Daniel went very still. "I know she's gone. I live with that every single day. But my promise to her isn't gone." Sophia softened, stepping closer. "Taking help doesn't make you less of a father. It makes you human. When did you start believing you had to carry everything alone?" The question hit hard. He thought of Sarah in her final days, how she had accepted help from everyone. She had never seen it as weakness. "I'm scared," Daniel admitted quietly. "I'm scared that if I let myself lean on you, I'll fall apart. I've been holding everything together by sheer willpower." Sophia took his hand gently. "Then let it crash. And I'll help you pick up the pieces. That's what people who care about each other do." Emma appeared beside them. "Papa, when I fell off the monkey bars, you told me it's okay to ask for help. Why isn't it okay for you?" Children cut through adult complexity with devastating simplicity. Daniel looked at his daughter and felt something break inside him. The wall he'd been holding up cracked. He knelt down and opened his arms. Emma rushed into them, followed by Bella, and then Sophia wrapped her arms around all of them. For the first time since Sarah died, Daniel let himself cry. Tears of release. Life settled into comfortable rhythm. Then, 8 months after the shooting, the past came roaring back. Daniel was at work when Sophia called, panicked. "They're out. Castellano's men made bail. There's been a credible threat. I'm scared." Daniel's blood went cold. "Where are you?" "At work. Bella's at school. Don't go to her. If they're watching, they'll follow you. I'll get both girls. Stay where there are people." He didn't waste time. He picked up Bella first, then Emma. The girls sensed something was wrong but stayed quiet. Once home, Daniel locked all doors and closed curtains. Sophia arrived an hour later with a police escort. She sat with both girls and told them a simplified truth. "Some bad men might want to scare Mama. But the police are protecting us." Emma looked at her father with worry. "Papa, you got hurt last time. What if you get hurt again?" Daniel knelt beside her. "I'll be more careful this time. I promise." Detective Morrison explained the situation. Castellano's men, Tony Russo and Mike Chen, posted bail. "We're assigning protection to Ms. Rivera and her daughter." "What about my family?" Daniel asked pointedly. Morrison looked uncomfortable. "Sir, you're not the target. I became involved when I took bullets for her. Those men saw my face. You think they won't come after me too?" The detective sighed. "Keep your doors locked, vary your routines, call 911 if you see anything suspicious." That night, Sophia and Bella stayed at Daniel's house. The girls shared Emma's room. Sophia and Daniel sat in the living room, unable to sleep. "I should never have come into your life," Sophia said bitterly. "You brought friendship," Daniel corrected. "You brought help when I needed it. You brought joy to Emma. Don't regret that. But now you're in danger again." Daniel took her hand. 8 months ago, I made a choice to protect you. I'd make that same choice again, knowing everything. Why? Because when Sarah was dying, she said, "Don't let grief make you small. Don't let fear make you cruel. Stay the man I fell in love with, the one who helps people." Tears rolled down Sophia's cheeks. She must have been amazing. She was. And she would have liked you. She would have been grateful Emma has you now. Sophia squeezed his hand. "I'm falling in love with you. I tried not to. But I can't pretend anymore." Daniel's heart pounded. "Sarah told me something else in her last week. She said, 'Promise me you'll love again.' Emma needs a complete family, and you need someone to share your life with. Did you promise?" "I did. But I never thought I'd meet someone who understood this complicated life." "But I do understand," Sophia said. They leaned toward each other slowly. Their lips met in a gentle kiss, careful and sweet, full of promise. From down the hallway came a giggle. Emma and Bella peeked around the corner, grins on their faces. "I told you," Emma whispered. Sophia and Daniel laughed. Whatever happened next, they would face it together. The attack came 2 days later. Daniel was at work when Emma's school called. "Mr. Carter, there was an incident. 2 men claimed to be authorized to pick up Emma. Our staff recognized something was wrong. The men fled, but we've called police." Daniel's vision went white with rage and fear. They had gone after his daughter. He drove like a man possessed. Emma was safe in the principal's office, shaken but unharmed. When she saw Daniel, she burst into tears and ran into his arms. "I was so scared, Papa. But I remembered never go with strangers. You did perfect, baby." Daniel held her close, heartbreaking at her terror. Detective Morrison arrived. This changes things. We're putting protection on your family now. But protection felt inadequate. These men knew where Emma went to school. Sophia arrived with Bella and an escort. They all held on to each other in that office. We need to leave, Sophia said urgently. Somewhere these men can't find us. Morrison spoke up. There's a safe house program. Short term, a few weeks while we apprehend the suspects. You'd all stay together with police presence. It felt like giving up. But looking at Emma's tear-stained face and Bella's frightened eyes, Daniel knew there was no choice. Okay. We'll go. They had 2 hours to pack. Daniel threw clothes and Emma's things into bags, hands shaking. This was his home, where he and Sarah had built their life. These men were taking that from him. The safe house was a modest 3-bedroom home 40 minutes away. Bars on windows, cameras at every entrance, a police car outside constantly. Safe, but it felt like prison. The first days were hardest. Emma and Bella were scared, jumping at sounds. They couldn't go to school or see friends. Daniel and Sophia took emergency leave from work. They lived in close quarters, tension high. But slowly, something beautiful emerged. Trapped together, the 4 of them became a real family. They cooked meals together, Daniel teaching Sophia his wife's recipes. They played games lasting hours. They told stories and shared memories. Sophia learned about Sarah, about the love story that produced Emma. Daniel learned about Bella's father, about abandonment's pain. They opened old wounds and cleaned them together. The girls thrived despite circumstances. Having both parents present constantly gave them security they'd been missing. Emma stopped having nightmares. Bella laughed more freely. One evening, while girls watched a movie, Daniel and Sophia sat in the kitchen drinking coffee. After this is over, Sophia said carefully, what happens to us? Daniel had been wondering the same. What do you want? I want this. The 4 of us together. A real family. Is that crazy? We've only known each other 8 months. I've known you in more ways than people who date for years, Daniel replied. I've seen you at your worst and best. I've seen how you love Bella, how you fight for what's right even when it costs everything. If that's not enough to know someone, I don't know what is. So is that a yes? It's a yes. To us. To whatever this becomes. They kissed, deeper this time, full of promise. From the living room, they heard Emma whisper, see? I told you Papa loves your mama. The girls had known before the adults did. The breakthrough came on day 12. Detective Morrison arrived with news, his expression triumphant. We got them. Both Russo and Chen. They were planning to ambush you leaving the safe house. We had officers watching, and they walked right into our trap. Relief flooded through Daniel so intensely his knees went weak. It's over. It's over. Castellano is cooperating, giving us names of everyone involved. You're safe. Sophia started crying, great heaving sobs of relief. Bella and Emma danced around the room. When can we go home? Daniel asked. Whenever you want. You're free. But leaving the safe house felt strange. It had been a cocoon where they had transformed from 2 broken families into something whole. That night, after the girls were asleep, Daniel and Sophia sat on the back porch looking at stars. I don't want to go back to how things were, Sophia admitted. 2 separate houses, 2 separate lives. Neither do I, Daniel agreed. Sophia turned to him with determination. We do something brave. Daniel Carter, will you marry me? Daniel laughed, surprised and delighted. I think traditionally I'm supposed to ask you. Traditions are overrated. I'm an engineer. I solve problems. And our problem is that we love each other, our daughters love each other, and we're wasting time being cautious when life is too short. She had a point. Life was short. Sarah had taught him that. Yes, Daniel said. Yes, I'll marry you. He slid off the chair and knelt on one knee. Sofia Rivera, will you marry me? Will you let me be a father to Bella and let Emma have the mother she's been missing? Sofia was crying again, happy tears. Yes. Yes to all of it. They kissed under the stars, two wounded souls who had found healing in each other. The wedding happened 3 months later at the courthouse. Emma and Bella were flower girls in matching purple dresses. Daniel's parents and brother attended, along with Sofia's mother. It was simple and perfect. They combined households, selling both homes to buy a bigger place. For bedrooms, a backyard with a swing set, space for everyone. Daniel went back to work full-time, his shoulder finally healed. But Sofia had a surprise. My firm wants to start a community program, she said one evening, spreading blueprints across their kitchen table. Building affordable housing for families in need. We need a construction supervisor. Someone with integrity. She looked at him meaningfully. The pay is slightly less, but the work is meaningful. You'd be building homes for families like ours. What do you think? Daniel studied the blueprints. I think it's perfect. The new job was everything Daniel needed. He worked directly with Sofia, bringing her designs to life. They built homes for single parents, for families who had faced tragedy, for people who needed someone to believe in them. Every house they completed felt like redemption, like taking the violence that brought them together and transforming it into something beautiful. Emma and Bella adjusted to being sisters with remarkable ease. They shared a room by choice, talking late into the night. Having a complete family healed wounds both girls had carried. 1 year after the shooting, they were invited to speak at a community safety event. They almost declined, but went, bringing their daughters. Daniel stood at the podium. A year ago, I made a split-second decision that changed my life. I stepped between a gun and a stranger. People call me a hero, but I don't feel like one. He paused. I feel like someone who saw another human in danger and reacted. That's not heroism. That's humanity. That's what we're supposed to do for each other. Sofia took the microphone. What happened was terrible. Violence, trauma, fear. But it also brought good things. It brought Daniel into my life. It brought our families together. It taught me that accepting help isn't weakness, it's wisdom. Emma and Bella stood beside their parents, holding hands. Emma spoke first. When bad things happen, it's easy to stay scared forever. But our parents taught us that love is stronger than fear. Bella added, and they taught us that family isn't just about blood. It's about choosing to stand together, especially when it's hard. The crowd gave them a standing ovation. But the real victory was the life they were building together. Trauma doesn't disappear just because life gets better. Emma still had occasional nightmares. Daniel's shoulder ached on cold days. Sofia sometimes woke in panic. But they faced these moments together. When Emma had nightmares, both parents sat with her. When Daniel's shoulder hurt, Sofia massaged it gently. When Sofia panicked, Daniel held her and reminded her they were safe. Bella had her own struggles. Having lived without a father figure, she sometimes didn't know how to accept Daniel's love. She would pull away when he tried to hug her. But Daniel was patient. The breakthrough came 6 months after the wedding. Bella had a science fair project due, something complicated involving plants. She was struggling, growing frustrated. Sofia was at work, and Daniel found Bella crying at the kitchen table. "Hey," he said gently. "What's wrong?" "I can't do this," Bella sobbed. "It's too hard, and I'm stupid." "You're not stupid. You're brilliant. You're your mother's daughter." Daniel patiently walked her through it, breaking down complex concepts. They worked together for 2 hours. She looked at Daniel with wonder. How did you know how to explain it? I've been building things my whole life. You break big problems into small pieces and solve one at a time. Bella hugged him suddenly, fiercely. Thank you, Papa Daniel. It was the first time she had called him that. Daniel felt tears burn his eyes. You're welcome, sweetheart. When Sophia came home and heard the story, she kissed Daniel and whispered, You're exactly the father Bella needed. These moments of connection, built slowly over time, were the foundation of their new family. 2 years after the shooting, Daniel and Sophia stood in front of a newly completed house. It was home number 23 in their affordable housing project. A single mother with 3 kids would move in next week. Remember when we started this? Sophia asked. I remember thinking we were crazy. But we did it. They had become advocates for victims of violence. Sophia spoke at conferences about whistleblowing and corporate responsibility. Daniel taught self-defense classes for free, wanting others to feel prepared. Together, they started a foundation called Second Chances, helping families rebuild after trauma. They raised money, organized support groups, connected people with resources. Emma and Bella, now 10 years old, were involved too. They visited schools talking about dealing with fear, about finding hope after scary experiences. One evening at dinner, Emma asked, Papa, do you ever regret it? Getting shot for Mama Sophia and Bella? Daniel thought carefully. No, Princess. Never. That decision brought us together. And look at what we have now. He gestured around the table. 2 beautiful daughters, a partner I love, work that matters. All from one moment of choosing to help someone. Sophia added, it taught us we're stronger together than apart. That asking for help is brave. Bella smiled. And it taught me that families can be made, not just born. That love is a choice we make every day. When did you get so wise? Daniel teased. I learned from the best, Bella replied, looking at both parents with pure love. 3 years after the shooting, Daniel received an unexpected phone call. It was Tony Russo, one of the men who shot him, calling from prison. Mr. Carter. I don't know if you'll want to hear this, but I needed to say it. I'm sorry. I'm so damn sorry for what I did. Daniel's first instinct was to hang up. But something made him listen. I've had 3 years to think about that night. To see your face, the way you stepped in front of those women without hesitation. I was so angry back then. But you showed me what real courage looks like. Why are you calling? Daniel asked quietly. Because I'm up for parole next month. Part of my recovery is making amends. I don't expect forgiveness. But I wanted you to know that what you did changed me. In prison, I've been helping other guys, talking them out of violence. Because of you. Sophia, sensing something important, sat beside Daniel, taking his hand. Mr. Russo, Daniel said, I don't forgive you easily. What you did hurt me and scared my family. But I believe people can change. I believe in second chances. So I hope you use your freedom to help others. I will. I swear. Thank you, Mr. Carter. After the call ended, Sophia asked, How do you feel? Strange. Angry still, but also hopeful. Maybe something good can come from even the worst situations. That's been our whole story, Sophia said. Taking something terrible and building something beautiful. For years after the shooting, the city organized a ceremony. Daniel and Sophia were being honored for their community work. The mayor would present them with awards. The ceremony was held in City Hall. Hundreds attended, many families they had helped through their foundation. When Daniel and Sophia walked onto the stage, the applause was thunderous. The mayor spoke about their courage, resilience, and commitment. Daniel Carter took bullets to protect strangers. Sofia Rivera risked everything to expose corruption. Together, they've helped over 300 families. They embody selfless service. Awards were presented, photos taken. But the most meaningful moment came afterward, when people lined up to thank them personally. A woman with tears shook Daniel's hand. "You built my house. My kids have their own rooms now. We're safe for the first time in years." A teenage boy hugged Sofia. "You came to my school and talked about standing up for what's right. I reported bullying because of you." One by one, people shared stories. Lives changed, hope restored, futures rebuilt. All because Daniel had seen someone in danger and acted. All because Sofia had accepted help and learned to give it back. Daniel stood in their backyard, watching Emma and Bella play basketball with friends. They were 13 now, confident and happy. Sofia came out carrying lemonade, a family tradition now. She handed Daniel a glass and leaned against him. "What are you thinking about?" she asked. "Everything," Daniel replied. "How 5 years ago, I was just trying to survive each day. How a split-second decision changed absolutely everything. Do you ever wonder what would have happened if you had walked away?" Daniel considered this. "Sometimes. But then I look at our life now, and I can't imagine any other path." "With me?" Sofia asked, smiling. "With you. With our daughters. Doing work that matters." "Yes." The bullet scars on Daniel's body had faded but would never completely disappear. They were part of his story now. Physical reminders that courage comes with a cost, but that cost can lead to something precious. Their foundation had grown, now helping families across 3 states. Daniel's construction program had built over 100 affordable homes. Sofia's firm had become known for ethical practices. But more than accomplishments, what mattered most was the family they had built. 4 people who had been broken in different ways, coming together to create something whole. Emma called out, "Papa. Come play with us." Daniel jogged over, his shoulder only slightly stiff now. Bella immediately stole the ball from him, laughing as she made a perfect shot. Sofia watched from the porch, her heart full. She thought about that terrible night, about the stranger who had stepped between her daughter and a bullet. She had wondered if she would survive, if Bella would grow up without a mother. Now Bella had not just a mother, but a father too. Now she had Emma as a sister. Now they had a family strong not despite their scars, but because of them. The phone rang inside. Sofia answered, recognizing their foundation's number. "Ms. Rivera? We have a family here, a single father with 2 kids. His wife just died from cancer. He saw your story and asked if you could help." Sofia felt her heart clench with compassion. She knew that story. She had lived it. "Tell him yes. Give him our personal number. We'll figure it out together." Because that's what they did now. They took their pain and transformed it into purpose. They took their scars and turned them into strength. After hanging up, Sofia walked back to the porch. Daniel had Emma on his shoulders while Bella tried to make a basket. They were laughing, the sound carrying like music. This was their life now. Not perfect, but real. Not without pain, but full of love. Not the life either planned, but exactly the life they needed. Daniel caught Sofia's eye and smiled, that same smile that had first made her heart flutter in the hospital. A smile that said, "We made it." And they had. 2 bullets, 2 families, 1 act of courage. It brought them together and built something stronger than either could have created alone. Sofia smiled back, thinking of all they had overcome and all they had yet to do. The future stretched before them, uncertain but hopeful. They would face it together, helping others find their own second chances. Because in the end, that's what life is about. Not avoiding pain or hiding from danger, but facing it with courage. Not suffering alone, but accepting help and offering it in return. Not letting tragedy define you, but choosing to grow from it. Daniel Carter had taken 2 bullets protecting strangers. In return, he gained a family, a purpose, and a life richer than he ever imagined. Sometimes the worst moments lead to the best outcomes. Sometimes broken pieces come together to create something more beautiful than before. Sometimes, love really does rebuild more than just lives. It rebuilds hope itself.